The Golden State Warriors took home the Summer League championship this year, going 4-1 in Las Vegas and ultimately defeating the Memphis Grizzlies 94-90 in the finale. Axel Lendeborg led the way, earning the Finals MVP award, which encapsulated a fantastic overall showing in July by the former Michigan forward. Obviously, Lendeborg holds a lot of weight in the Warriors' success, but the whole team overall proved to be a group of poised and talented individuals who held their own as well. In this video, I wanted to talk about some of the key players outside of Axel Lendeborg who stuck out to me and see where they go from here. With that being said, let's hop right into it. The first player I wanted to talk about is LJ Crier. You can make the argument that Crier was just as important to this Summer League Warriors team as Axel was, as he led the team in Vegas in points at 15 points per game and assists at 4.2 assists per game. He also shot 41.2% behind the arc. With Crier, you're getting a score for his point guard capable of producing at all three levels, but he does most of his work outside of the paint, relying on his high-level shot making. He's the type of player to go on an 8-0 run on his own, giving his team 3 baskets in a 2-minute span. His offensive arsenal is quite big, as he'll knock down threes off the catch, he'll hit step backs, he'll hit off-balance shots, and he'll take advantage of mismatches one-on-one. No matter what he does, his game just has a very appealing smoothness to it, and he's never out of control. He was a solid veteran presence on the team, and like Axel, he had his own fair share of clutch shots too. Even though he's a score-first guard, Crier can definitely pass the ball, as he'll find the open man and he'll spot cutters at the rim. For Crier, his biggest weakness is obviously his size, as he's listed as only 6'1", which limits his ability to be effective on the defensive end, as well as being a complete paint slasher. If he wants to stick in this league, he's really just going to have to ball out offensively out on the perimeter, but it's looking like he'll get some really good opportunities with the Warriors this upcoming season. With the Warriors deciding to move on from Pat Spencer, who recently signed a 2-way contract with the Phoenix Suns, it's looking like the Warriors are moving forward with Crier as their definitive third-string point guard. Crier has proved that he can produce at the NBA level playing field, as he averaged 8.2 points per game in 18 regular season games last year. I expect him to get a lot of playing time in preseason. The next player I wanted to talk about is Will Richard. Will Richard started off hot in the California Classic, scoring 16 points with 4 3-pointers against the Lakers in their opening game. When he catches fire behind the arc, it's hard to not compare him to Jordan Poole, especially after he cut his hair short. I feel like when Richard's shot is on, he definitely shares the same confidence Poole has to throw shots up. The difference is that Poole is much quicker, with a much better handle, giving him better opportunities to attack the paint, be an ISO threat, and make plays. Richard's role as a player is much more 3-and-D oriented, as he's a much better defender than Poole ever was. He has active hands, moves his feet, and can stay in front of his defender. Offensively, I'll be honest, I was hoping he had a little more from him to showcase during this year's Summer League, especially after his first game, but he only averaged 9.4 points per game during his time in Vegas. But reflecting on his role as a player in the NBA, he was just sticking to his role and did exactly what he needed to do. I was impressed by his outing in the championship game, as he hit some crucial shots in the second half to keep his team within striking distance. One highlight of the Summer League was that he shot 47% from 3. As opposed to him only shooting 33% in his rookie season, I would not be surprised if he can get that number up to around the 40% mark. I expect him to play quality minutes as the backup shooting guard next season. The Warriors' second draft selection of this year, LaJae Jones, had an interesting Summer League showing. The 6'7" forward averaged 8.7 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, and shot 49% from the field and 31% from the 3. His strongest asset has to be his ability to attack the closeout and slash the paint. He has a really effective jab step and first step, and he loves driving into the paint with his left. He had a decent amount of left-sided drives that resulted in some nice-looking and-one finishes. Outside of his offense, he played really solid defense and showed that he can battle on the boards with just about anyone. He's definitely a project that will spend the majority of his time in the G League this upcoming year, as he has a lot to work on though. He'll have to develop a right hand so that he becomes less predictable when attacking the basket. He'll also have to improve his playmaking, as he tends to get tunnel vision when he makes a run at the rim. The last player I wanted to talk about is Graham Ike. I saw Ike play live several times when he played for Gonzaga, and the thing about him is that he's very old school in his style. He reminds me a little bit of Zach Randolph, although much skinnier and less physical, but he's an undersized big who does most of his work in the paint and at the mid-range. He's not going to wow you with his athleticism or with the crazy poster dunk, but he's a steady presence on the court, capable of a variety of finishes at the rim, utilizing spin moves, hook shots, and up and unders. He's not a bad playmaker too, as you'll find the open man when getting double teamed, either behind the arc or cutting baseline. He probably won't play for the Warriors much this season, especially after the team just re-signed Charles Bassey, who's a much better option for the modern NBA with his pogo stick-like jumping ability. The thing for Ike though is that if he wants a chance to play in the league, he has to develop a 3-point shot. He shot only 33% on 2.3 attempts in his final year at Gonzaga, and as a 6'9" undersized center, there's no way he'll survive as a traditional post big man with how the game is played now. I expect him to spend most of his time with the Warriors G League team, and who knows, he might get a chance or two in the latter part of the season to make some noise. As the weeks progress, we're inching closer and closer to training camp and eventually preseason, where I think a lot of the players I just mentioned will get more runs to showcase their talent. I expect most of these players to spend time down in the G League, but I think LJ Crier and Will Richard have the best chance of being in the Warriors regular season rotation. With that being said, let me know what you guys think. Who impressed you the most during Summer League outside of Yaxel Lendeborg? Who do you think has the highest potential? If you made it this far in the video, I would like to thank you so much for sticking around. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I greatly appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and go Warriors!